Time. Time is very important. To understand where time is coming from all the time. And that what we did 5 minutes ago is just a number that we have created to understand what we represent time as. But if you took away the whole human concept of time, everything around you, just imagine a world without time, that you don't time breakfast, lunch, dinner, we just know when you're hungry. When we call it something else, we just call it food time when we're hungry, and we know that when the sun goes up, comes up, you have something to eat after you've been asleep. Doesn't matter how long you've been asleep or whatever, just when you get up and you feel hungry. Imagine a world like that, without time. Now, how does the world appear to you now? It doesn't appear to be put in sections of days, does it? You feel it as a wholeness, a oneness. That is because that's what it is. It's only the human nature that has put this concept of time into reality in order to really confuse our spirit. Why? It was an idea put together that seemed to fit and worked for the physical reality to develop, for a need of say cameras, of MP3 players, into computers. It needs a structure, a number. So also, you can imagine a world without numbers at all. A world without numbers, there will be no time. Human created time. There will only be oneness. As we look at the moon phases, that's all we have to look at. But it won't be called time because it won't have numbers. It will be as it is. We know that when the moon is at this certain direction, then it's gone through one part of the month. Once it's a half moon or a full moon, we know where we are in the month, sort of thing. But also take away the knowledge of solstice years and Sabbaths and rituals and things like Christmas at certain times of the year when it may feel really cold or warm. Take that whole knowledge out of the way. A place with no time, a place with no knowledge of lunar ways of thinking. Now what have you left with? You're probably imagining a world right now without technology. Just seeing the dolphins swim free with their family, not being captured. Whole seas are full up with life. Whole planet Earth is cascaded in a huge array of mosaic colours from above, of green hues, dark and light, which are the vegetation lands of the world. Imagine the warm areas of the equator going through Egypt and Africa and wherever it goes around the Pacific Ocean. This part of that process, heating it up, cooling it down, heating up, cooling it down, and seeing the whole world be at one with nature and elements. How does that make you feel? Also add humans in there, get them along from alien DNA put together to make these humans evolve from apes. We have a little bit of technology there. But these beings, they're very sacred. These humans, us, we're very sacred. Our DNA has been dismantled and put together into an isolation of units of personal and perfection that will grow with time. With anything that you change and manipulate in DNA science, it takes time for it to evolve also. So really what we're going through as a physical being, a human being, is that we are evolving through the process, since our DNA was mixed in with alien DNA. We were once part of a different race of ape that you see now today. Very different. Very hairy, very very bulky, a lot more musclier, smaller brains. It wasn't until this DNA manipulation came along and tampered with the DNA injected into these apes that their bodies started to change, and after so long they started producing clearer humans, and we're going through that now. If you look at pictures from the very first pictures of humans ever created, I cannot remember the date of this, but you look at them, and I'm not saying their dress sense, but you look at them in a whole. If you're sensitive, you understand that their emotions are completely different. They have not got a good awareness. They're quite low. You can feel it in the picture, trust me. And then you compare it with a modern day person in 20th century, if that's where we are, in 2011. A difference of 300 or 400 years ago, where there's people from 2011 and from, say, 1962, if that does exist to camera, you will see this really heaviness from the 1960s. Sorry, 1600s, and you'll see a huge difference in these people from 300 or 400 years ago and to modern day 2011 people. You can feel it just by looking at both the pictures. It's not just about technology, it's about awareness, and that we are going through a lot more emotionally and everything, spiritually, than the people from 300 or 400 years ago. There's a big difference. You can see that in pictures. I want to say that we had our bodies manipulated by aliens, and it takes time for that to settle into the body and to create these new humans all the time. So that DNA structure is always changing. See, these aliens were very, very clever, and they still are. They've probably evolved much more than we are now. So, it's about connectivity, striding. What I trust in you out there is just to be yourself, help people on the way, and enjoy life.